Hello, everyone. My name's Andrew, and I'm here to talk to you today about journaling. Journaling is such a great thing to do. You probably know this, but you probably haven't journaled either. Not very many people do. And the reason is that we take journaling so lightly and yet seriously. Like we know it's important, but we just like grab pieces of paper from a notebook, or we just grab a three ring, not a three ring, a spiral notebook and start working in it. But that is not the way to journal because, first of all, it takes a serious idea and makes it boring. If I am just writing on pieces of paper, this is boring. I am not going to keep journaling that way. So I'm going to show you how to journal with intention so that you can keep journaling for years and years. You're going to improve your academics. That means your spelling's going to improve, your grammar's going to improve, your vocabulary is going to improve just by journaling. Can you believe that? And then also, you're going to improve your self-reflectiveness. That means you're going to understand how you think better. Because not only are you journaling and writing stuff down, but now you have kind of a memory, kind of a history book of your own self. So then you'll look back and you'll be like, wow, I can't believe I thought that way. And you'll be able to understand yourself better, which will help you become more successful in so many ways. So let's get started with this journaling thing. First thing you need to do before you start a journal is you have to ask yourself two really important questions. One, is this a public journal or is this a private journal? Very important distinctions you need to make. If this is a public journal, that means I'm going to be writing stuff that I want people to see. I might even start to talk about things that I really want to convince people of. So one of my public journals is a religious public journal. It always starts every passage with something from the Bible. A second public journal that I have is going to be one that is more of my random thoughts that I think throughout the day. So weird, funny things that I think about. But it's a public journal. It's something that I'm writing and I want people to read. So those are public journals. Private journals are journals that I have that I don't want to share with anyone, or I just want to share with one or two people. Okay. So private journals, I'm going to write down more of thoughts that I really want to keep for myself, but they're going to be private. I'm also going to make sure my private journals are in a safe place. So I'm not going to bring my private journals to school, to work, because otherwise that's going to open up an opportunity for someone to accidentally read it. And I want to make sure that those private journals stay private. The second thing I'm asking is kind of what content do I want to write about? Am I writing about just the day I had? Am I trying to focus on my professionalism, or am I trying to focus on my heart? Am I talking about religious, or am I talking about surface stuff like like jokes and things like that? What kind of content is in my journals? And then we're going to look at the medium. That's the way that I'm getting the journaling onto wherever I'm going to put it. This is the biggest mistake most people think, which is don't take it seriously. Just grab a notebook and start writing. But that absolutely will get you nowhere. You're going to stop writing a week after. So be intentional. The first thing you want to decide is what kind of pen or pencil, what kind of device am I going to use to write with? Okay, if you're going to use actual physical journals, then decide carefully the type of device you want to use. This one is probably my second favorite because of the feel. Okay, when I'm writing, this feels good in my hands. It's a little heavy, and the pen point is a ballpoint, which means when I write on paper, it's a very smooth feel, and it just feels really great to write with. I like this one. It is my second favorite, but my favorite, my personal favorite, which isn't with me right now, is an ink pen, an inkwell pen. It is a really heavy pen. It's an expensive pen, but it's a very heavy pen. And so it feels really, really good in my hands. The feel doesn't feel great because you have to work it to not go against the grain of the paper. And so the feel isn't great. But for me, I really like the style it looks, the way it looks in my hand when I'm writing. And so in the end, that's my favorite pen to write in, and I will use that one whenever I get back to America and can use it. So the pens are very important. If you're using a digital pen, then you're also trying to find a stylus that works for you. The Apple Pencil doesn't really work really well in my hand. So I don't love the Apple Pencil, but I do like the Microsoft stylus for the Surface. This one's okay. I don't love this one either. If you can see, it's kind of a flattened stylus because it's supposed to like hide away in the Surface's keyboard, so it works okay. I like it a little better than the Apple Pen because it has a little bit of a rough tip, which gives it a sort of rougher feel on the screen, but it's not my favorite. I would say my favorite stylus is the Remarkables because, first of all, the Remarkable itself is very has like a screen that's sort of textured, and the tip is textured, so it literally feels like it's a pencil when you're writing, and so I really like that feel. And so it's very important that whatever pencil, stylus that you use, make sure it feels good to write with. Make sure you like writing with it. If you don't like it, you're not going to keep using it. The second part, though, is what type of journal do you want to use? Do you want to use a digital journal and not use any stylus at all, but type? Do you want to use something like a Remarkable or an iPad? Or do you want to use a physical journal? I love physical journals. I have 3 physical journals. I have 2 digital journals. My physical journals, this one, I'm going to show you a couple examples, but you need to choose ones that you like. So this one, I'd say, in all my examples, is my least favorite, but still, I like it. This one was given to me by a student, and you can kind of see this one is sort of gridded out. So this one I kind of liked because I can write not only in one direction, but if I decide to, I can flip it and just write in this direction. I like that because sometimes my journaling is not just writing paragraphs. I didn't use this one so much because in the end it turned into a professional journal. So I used it more to keep notes for my students and different notes that I wanted to use to improve myself as a teacher. But I did like this little zipper thing that held the pen and everything like that. So that was kind of cool. This was probably one of my first journals that I ever started with when I was 16. I liked this one because it was leather bound. Maybe not real leather, but still it felt leather bound, and it was a big one. Like it was really big and solid. Nice paper. Place for a picture. I had no idea what I was going to put in there. It wasn't going to be my face, that's for sure. So I like this one. I used this one for a couple of years when I was a kid, but I never really finished it. Maybe I'll continue it because there's a lot of unused paper here, but this one I liked. In more recent years, I got these ones from Eastern Europe. I can't remember if this one was from Romania or from Bulgaria, or maybe Greece. That looks like Greek letters, actually. Anyway, this one was my dream journal. I like this one because of the cover, of course. It's all wood, but then inside too, they've got these sort of not white, brownish pages. So I did my dream journaling in here. If I woke up in the middle of the night, I'd write my dream down in there. It's pretty cool. I really like that one. But my favorite by far is my public journal. The one I have a public journal online and a public journal in person. This is my public journal for in person, my physical one. This one is leather bound. I found this one, I think, on Amazon. Maybe it was Temu. I don't know, but it's leather bound. I feel like it's actually real leather because I've had it for quite a few years and it's not started to peel. And then it's got this paper that is just like yellowish, but it's like they made it in an old style. So that means the finish is very rough. And so it was a nightmare to write on. But for me, I like the style of the look when I'm writing in it. So for me, it won over easily. So even though it was really hard, I didn't use this pen because the rolling thing would get messed up. I used a different pen. But still, I loved writing in this book. I think this journal I've gotten 2 years worth of notes on, and it's my public journal. So like, I don't mind sharing this with people because I wrote with the intention of people writing in it. In fact, I wrote this specifically to show my students how to write in a journal in a way that is a public journal. So I like this one very much. Then I thought to myself, as I was creating this video, which would be good for artists. So then I've got this kind of journal. Someone gave this to me, and this one has blank pages in it. You can see there's nothing in it. So what I would do if I was an artist is I would get some pieces of paper, notebook paper maybe, and I'd write my journaling and I'd cut it out. And then I would glue it wherever I want to glue it. And then I would draw pictures, or maybe draw pictures on a blank piece of paper and cut that out and make kind of a collage thing. And that would be pretty good journaling as well. And so I would highly recommend that if you're more of an artist. And of course, if you prefer, you can do journaling digitally. The Remarkable was a really great tool. I did journal with it for a long time. In the end, I ended up using this more for my professional work, and that kind of ruined it for the journaling part. So I stopped using it as a journal because this brought the stress of what work brings to. So in the end, this one kind of fell away as far as my journaling. I never really used the iPad for journaling. And then my other public journal is an online one. I use a Google Doc. Google Docs are great because they are easily shared. So if you want to make this if you want a public journal and you want to have a link that just goes out to everyone, then you can just pop in there, do your writing, and then you can share it with anyone you want. So I would recommend that. If you are an older person and you are saving files on your computer, I highly recommend that you make sure you save it into a place that gets put into the internet somewhere, because there, when your computer gets old or you lose your computer or whatever, you don't lose your journal as well. And that's going to be important. So, okay, I hope this has helped you and has made you a little bit more excited about journaling. It's great. It has changed the way that I think, the way that I am. And yes, I would highly recommend it, whether you're a student in 5th grade or you are an adult. Use journaling. It's going to help you out so much. Thank you for watching and have a great day.